Hello, everyone. Great to have you join me today. Today, I'd love to talk about how to build your first emergency fund. Even if you're on a very tight budget and you go, oh my gosh, I don't think I could even save any for an emergency. Yes, you can. We're going to have a step-by-step guide to gain that peace of mind, really being honest with what you've got and what you might need for an emergency. So if the idea of saving for a rainy day, for some emergency that will happen, unfortunately, because life, it can feel really overwhelming. If you're strapped, pay to pay, and you go, oh my gosh, I'm just watching every cent that I have, it can feel really overwhelming. All right. You're already tight. You're already being really strict with yourself. And this can be, yeah, really quite paralyzing for some people. So know, first of all, that if this is you and it makes you feel uncomfortable, even having this topic, you're definitely not alone. All right. So I want to show you exactly how to start building your first emergency fund from zero without needing a big salary and without needing a second job, because it's all about peace of mind for me. That's what I share every episode, really. And it shouldn't only belong to the people with those perfect finances. You want to just find that calm as well. So, why do we need an emergency fund? Pretty much because life throws curveballs, right? Your car breaks down, a pet gets sick, a job can suddenly change or disappear, you can get retrenched. I've got people in all of those situations in my world at the moment. All right. So without an emergency fund, even small problems can become financial disasters. So an emergency fund is like your buffer. All right. It's really important to focus on what does your buffer need to be, because it's going to reduce stress for you. It's going to give you options, and this is going to help you from falling into that debt spiral. This is on previous episode I talked about, trying to get out of that credit card debt as quickly as possible. And this can be oh, well, this happened, I'm just going to put it on the credit card, and you're paying it off, paying it off, paying it off for so long at such a high rate. And this is what gets really overwhelming. So we want to avoid that. We want to avoid the impulse needs of, well, I have to pay for it, and how am I going to get that money, to preparing for those, assuming once that it's not unusual, it is usual that you'll get some unforeseen expenses, even for the best budgeter, which was our last video. So the goal isn't perfection. Once again, it's protection this time. We want to be protected. So when I first noticed that I had a saving struggle, when I tried to save, I just constantly just had saved, and then I dipped into my account. I saved and dipped in because I felt that, well, everything is urgent. All right. So I went, well, I need this, so I have to get it. All right. So it's like, it'd be a good idea to save for it, but it didn't feel real for me that something bad would happen, because I was probably still quite young, going, well, that's not going to happen to me. And until it does, that's often the case. We learn the hard way. And also, I had a couple of things. One, denial that it would happen to me, and two, I actually felt like, well, the things that I was getting were urgent. All right. And what helped me change this is how I saw savings. All right. My view, my mindset around savings. So instead of waiting for extra money, I treated it like a non negotiable bill. All right. So even if it was just $10 a week, I had to shift my view on that $10 a week. So if I'd saved that $10, I needed to emotionally go and say, well, because I've saved it here and the world didn't fall apart last time, so I could probably spend that $10 there, and I haven't really gone backwards. And you start telling yourself all these things. I needed to change my view and go, okay, that's at $10 now, and I'm going to put it into a separate account. Because if I do that $10 and then $10 and $10, it's going to grow. It will compound over time. And then when I do need it, when life does throw a curveball, it will be there. So the step number one today, my advice is to start small and to try and automate it. All right. So you can start with $5 a week, $10 a week, $20 a week, whatever is doable. all right, without stress. It's not to put you under stress. Because if I went and said, all right, we'll start doing $100, you'll just go, oh, I'm stressed out and now I'm giving up on things and now it's causing me pain, or not. It could be painful, but it's emotionally stressful. I don't want that. No one wants that because once again, I'm all about being realistic and it's not sustainable. You're not going to do that. You're going to get it back again. So I want you to have that confidence that if I have an account, I actually put it into it and I'm not going to touch that. All right. So one of them is to actually open an account that gives you bonuses if you don't remove your money. We can do different types of accounts on another day, but that's just a little tip for you there. So you want to make sure that it's doable and doesn't cause you additional stress. All right. So if you can automate it, if you can set up a recurring transfer to a specific high interest saving account, so just that next level up, a savers account, it's usually called, that is the gold. So that way you don't actually get that money and think, oh, I need to transfer it. It just auto transfers. It's like you're paying your rent or something. So you can actually go, my pay goes in and, even if it's $5 or $10, I'm going to transfer it automatically to this other account. It's like, get it out of my mind. Because as soon as you then start thinking about it, you go, oh, but I would like to get this or that or whatever. And they all seem reasonable. When you start unpacking it, there's a very big difference between something that is urgently necessary or that something is a want or a desire. There's no judgment on that. We all have different opinions of what I need and what I want. But you'll get the gist when we start sort of unpacking it and be honest with ourselves. This is a really great way to go. I just didn't see it. And people are like that with their superannuation too here in Australia. You might just go, okay, well, I'll just get it automatically taken out and then I don't have to give it up. It's very, very helpful. So you want to set up a recurring transfer. Out of sight is out of mind. And I tell you what, the secret here is consistency. Consistency just beats the amount that you're going to put in and take out, put in, take out. You just go little, little, little. It's what we call chipping away. All right. It's the habit that builds the muscle. And those people who just turn up and do a little bit every day get the benefits. That's what it is. What else could you do? Well, you could sell, pause, or swap. So let's look at those. You want to find some low effort ways to jumpstart your funds. All right. So if you're not going to get them from extra income, right, immediately from a raise at work or something, yeah, you can go around and go, well, what could I sell? Is there something around my place that I could actually just go, you know what, I'm going to sell that online? And I can then get some money, and that money can immediately be put into that rainy day account. All right. I might also pause something. Now, how many of you have actually gone and subscribed to something because you really wanted it and it said you're getting a free trial, which they'll all do, and then you can cancel it anytime, but you forget to go back and then it suddenly bills you and you can still be going month after month after month and go, I'm not even using it. This is a little family argument. So you can pause your subscriptions, even if you want it. You might go and say, I love my Netflix, but I'm going to pause it for 3 months because I'm actually going to save that money. Like, just be really disciplined. There's a reason for it. What is our goal in that extra account? And so you might cancel or you also might pause. And that's for if it's yourself, easy to make that decision. If you're in a relationship and you've got a shared resource, have a little think about that. Another easy way is actually just swapping dinners out, lunches out, breakfasts out, coffees for at-home cooked meals. All right. And so while it's convenient and we can love it, the more you can do that and just have a home or take your lunch to work, things of that nature, will actually save you a lot. And that's one of those things when you go through your statements, it's amazing how quickly that actually adds up. You also might get some rebates. Like here, if you use our highways too much, you can actually get rebates back. So knowing what's available to you. And if you do that, you suddenly go, oh, this is really great, listening to Annie's YouTube channel, and I'm going to get these ideas. Try not to do that and then spend it. This is where you go, oh, here's an opportunity. I'm going to get some money I didn't have before, and I'm actually going to put it away. All right. Some of those accounts too, as well as the benefit of you not drawing out from them, they'll also give you additional benefit if you just deposit a small amount. So you're going both ways. You're not tempted to take it out, and you also got the auto pay, and then you'll get the full benefit of that account. They make it that way because most people don't have the discipline and most people will take it out, but you want to be the exception to the rule. All right. So this isn't about deprivation. I'm never into that. I'm into little micro changes. It's the 1% every day theory. It's the small incremental. It's the habit forming. That's the way I run my life and my coaching. So it's all about temporary shifts to build long-term peace. That's what it's about. And then step 3 is to set a realistic first goal. All right. Don't aim for saying, oh my gosh, now that I've thought about it, I really should save $10,000, right? Now that might be really great and it might be really reasonable, but hey, don't be that hard on yourself, all right? Start with a little micro goal. I want to get $100 and then I want to get $250 and then I want to get $500 and then I want to get 1,000. You can keep doubling it or increasing it because you want to go, wow, when I'm going to just focus on that, then that's really achievable. So do something that is reasonable and achievable. And even if you couldn't do it every week, you would get there. So you then don't throw it out. What happens is you throw it out if you go, oh, I stuffed up here, I'm never going to get there, forget the whole thing, right? We all do it. It's okay. I'm the first to say, yep, absolutely. I've done all of these myself, and I've also had a giggle with everyone else who's done it as well. So your first real milestone is probably around $1,000. If you can get $1,000 that you didn't have before, then that's like, woohoo, well done. Really congratulate yourself. All right. That's enough to cover some basic emergencies. All right. Now, emergencies can be, how long is a piece of string? But $1,000 is one of those, yeah, it's going to really tide me over if I have something happen. All right. And then we also need to then look at our life and what that involves. I mean, if it was back when I had 5 kids and everything, then $1,000 would have gone pretty quickly. So you know what? My nest egg had to be bigger than that. I had to really be disciplined and really focus on that because something, the potential for something to happen was much higher. If you're single or you're younger, different stage of life, you know what, you might not need that much, and that's okay because you don't want to overdo it either. You want to make sure that, sometimes if you've got $50,000 to spare, I'd be telling you to invest it in other areas. Okay. So we just need to work out what is your actual nest egg emergency fund. How much will you need? So how much would happen if you suddenly, what would you need if you suddenly got retrenched and you needed to find another job? All right. How much would you need if you suddenly had to have, depends on where you are in the world, or you needed some health costs, and just average it out. How much would it cost if your car suddenly broke down and you needed to do something? Like just start thinking scenarios and go, you don't want to get all doom and gloom and negative, but what do you think you need? All right. And whatever it is, probably don't have to double it, but probably add another 1,000 or two onto it because things are more expensive than we imagine. And that's probably where you want to sit. Once you've got it, you can just go. And if you've got auto going, you'll either start using it as a saver and then we can start looking at that on another week, or you just watch it grow. All right. So celebrate each step. I'm a big fan of celebrating often, which is why I like to have the incremental gaps. And that's why it's also the power. I tell you what, the power of writing it down. So always when you're watching my videos, just get yourself a little pen and paper. Oh, sorry, I've just moved my video there. And just write down, okay, I'm going to write my steps because it's the steps that you give yourself your big tick, or you highlight a pen and go, yes, achievement, achievement, achievement. It's super motivating. If you have a long time between drinks or celebrations, it's really demotivating. All right. We get sick of it. And that's why we start to fall off the wagon. All right. So what to avoid? Avoid storing your emergency fund in your everyday account. This is a big no-no. All right. Because it's way too easy to access. And sometimes it can even be accidental. You forget about it. And so it disappears faster. It's like, obvious, but many of us don't separate it. Yes, there is incredible value of separating it. Also, don't guilt yourself if you need to dip into it, all right? Because that's what it's for. If you do have something, you go, is this the biggest emergency? If you've got an emergency, you've got an emergency. And then you just keep going on those principles. Everything I share with you is just about habits. And if you've got the right habit and the intent, then you'll go back to that because we'll get a discipline. So you don't have to be too hard on yourself there. All right. You can always rebuild when the next crisis passes. All right. It's not forever. So, building your emergency fund is definitely a gift to your future self. That's what it is. It's saying your future self isn't going to be stressed and panicking or depressed or fearful because you've actually gone and invested for your future self. So, when you start thinking about that, it's like, nice. Thank you, self. All right. It's not about how much you have, it's about taking that first step and doing it incrementally. All right. So start where you are. All right. Don't wait till you've got a certain amount and you're going to initiate it. You just start wherever you are now. All right. Use what you have. Give yourself a bit of peace and security because you deserve that. All right. Everyone can find something to sell off, rearrange, try and get some money through something. We can talk about side hustles and other things on another day, but they're just some simple tips for you today. So subscribe if you haven't already. You definitely want to, hopefully you're enjoying these simple and smart money tips. Let me know in the comment, what's your first emergency goal fund? What are you going to go for? Put it out to the universe or give it definitely to Annie and go, Annie, thanks for that. I'm going to now commit to save $500. I'm going to commit to save $2,000, whatever it is, because I don't want my future self to be fearful or distressed when life throws a curveball. I'm going to do that because it's the right thing to do. It's a good thing to do. It's going to protect me. All right. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Look forward to seeing you in the next episode.